Let's have a look at some Helinox chairs. This is an amazing company. They really have a great idea. This particular chair here just came in today. It's the Helinox Café Chair. Runs for about 170 bucks, 180 by the time you figure tax and everything. You can hold 320 pounds, but the problem is it weighs 3.2 pounds. It sits nice and high. Very comfortable chair. This chair here, the Sunset chair, runs the same price. Again, 320 pounds, weighs 3.2 pounds. So, but it sits a little bit lower. It is a little easier to get out of. I put a lot of use to that thing. This one here is the Helinox chair run, about 120 bucks, 320 pounds, and only 2.1 pounds. But you notice it sits way lower. Then we get into probably the one that has hit the internet by storm. This one here is the Helinox Zero Ultralight, 150 bucks. Can hold 265 pounds, and it weighs about 1.1 pounds. This is what all backpackers take. This thing is a bitch to get out of, especially when you get to be my age. So Helinox has got quite the setup. This particular chair does not have a high back yet. I'm sure one's coming. And they're expensive. But I've had these chairs for well over 5 years, a lot of them, and they've taken a beating. But this one here, I got a special plan for it. So, why did I pick up the cafe chair? I plan to use it for deer hunting. When you hunt deer, the whole objective is to be completely still. Don't move, which means you got to be comfortable. The other Helinox chairs would have worked fine. But the problem with them is they're too hard to get out of. The Sunset one wouldn't have been too bad, but you do have to fight to get up a bit. This cafe chair does weigh 3 pounds, but it's extremely easy to get out of. Your legs are literally 90 degrees, which is really nice. So if I had to, I could literally get out of this chair with very little movement to take my shot. Now some people might say, well, you're sitting too high, so why do you want to actually do that? Well, I actually have a titanium shovel, camp shovel, that actually goes on the back of my pack. If I really wanted to, if I wanted to disappear further into the earth, then I could just dig a hole, set the chair inside of it, and literally get down to my chest if I wanted to. That's not the issue. The only problem I have with it, it's 3 pounds. That's the thing I keep wrestling with. But when you look at a whole bunch of hunting chairs, they're all 5 pounds, 4.5 pounds, unless you get into some type of hammock system with a bar behind you. None of these would do what I want. And I looked high and low. I mean, I searched Amazon, I searched Google. It was crazy. There was one chair I looked at. It was kind of like a backpack chair, but you sat kind of low. And, you know, when you're shooting a bow, you kind of want that distance between the ground. So, Helinox became my answer. 3 pounds became the lightest I could find, and it made it a lot easier. Now, you also have to understand that it becomes a whole lot better when you pull out your binoculars also. Man, I love these binoculars. Everything is pulled right up. So as you can see, getting them out of the vinyl thing is very nice. So my objective is to use this cafe chair during hunting season for ground sitting. Now I'm going to be moving into some really thick areas. I'm only going to have a couple shooting lanes, um, and I won't be moving. I'll be sitting. My bow will be sitting right beside me, and it'll make it extremely comfortable. And that's the key, is being comfortable. But there's nobody that makes a proper hunting chair that's light and that's packable. Now, yes, this is 3 pounds, but this does pack away nice. It will go into the center of my backpack and my backpack against my back. And it was funny. A lot of guys were suggesting to me to pick up hunting chairs. Some of them weighed 20 pounds. I was like, what are you guys crazy? And I guess a lot of people, when they go hunting, they just carry a very small pack. They go in for a couple hours and they come out. Well, that's not my objective. I'm literally going to be carrying a 35-pound pack plus 3 pounds now. Um, and that includes no food or water, with my bow. And I'll be going in for like 2 nights camping. And I'll set up a tent, I will set up a campsite, and this chair is really comfortable. I give you that. It's like sitting in a regular chair at home. And then my pack will break down into a smaller pack to where I move into a field where turkeys are, or I move into a certain area where deer are, and I get set up, maybe a half a mile away from my camp. But that's what I plan to do. Now, a lot of guys will just go in for 3 or 4 hours and then come out. Well, to that, they're carrying 10, 15 pounds is not a big deal. But when you're going in with full tent and full sleeping bag, full pad, you need to carry a lot of other stuff. And this seems to work the best from what I can tell. And this is what I see that's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few practice shots with my bow and see how this chair feels, and see if it's actually going to work when I got my bow up. So this is how I'm going to look when I'm sitting and waiting. My bow is going to be sitting right here, right beside me. My target's down there. So I am going to be a little bit sideways. Now, like I said, I may dig a hole and set the chair deep down inside the hole to remove some of my height. I am looking at some type of deer blind, and I haven't seen anything that makes me jump up and down yet. There is one out there called Nukem. I think it weighs about 3 pounds. I am considering that one. But I don't understand why all this stuff is so heavy when it comes to hunting. I mean, when it comes to ultralight backpacking, I mean, my tent weighs less than 2 pounds. My sleeping pad Nemo weighs less than a pound. It's good for minus 20 below. I mean, it's ridiculous. When you move into the ultralight community, you get some amazing stuff. But when you move into the hunting area, everything gets pretty heavy. And that's not making sense to me at all. I do like the Kuyui setup because Tennessee gets hot. This is a very light, and it does wick away the sweat. It's warm today. We're in the 90s. I can feel the moisture coming off my skin, but at the same time, I can feel it wicking away the moisture. I'm being attacked by little flies like crazy, so normally I would have a head net on, but this is looking really good. Leave her there. Looks like I hit pretty good. This is easy to shoot from, quite comfortable. Let's try another one. A little shaky. So let's go have a look, because this really feels comfortable. Extra 3 pounds on my back though. And let's go check this out. Ooh, first one I missed. A little different shooting from a chair than standing up. See that? Well. Second one's not too bad, but I was shaking pretty good. So the Helinox Café Chair does work out pretty good. It's the first time I've shot from it. I've never shot from sitting down, other than sitting in my tree stand, which then you're shooting down. You're not shooting straight across, so that was different. I'm definitely going to have to get some more practice in. But it's this chair is very easy to get out of, and it's very strong. Now, if I wanted to, I could go with a lighter pot set, because my pot set's probably 2.5 pounds or so. I could go with a pot set in boiling water. I can shave off 3 pounds if I had to, if I wanted to do a few more things in my backpack. But this is really looking like my go-to chair from now on. Now, a lot of people were commenting saying, oh, 3 pounds is too heavy for your backpack. Well, I guess if you're going, ultralight and you're going 10, 20 miles a day, I'm not doing that. I'm going in 2 or 3, 4 miles and setting up camp and then moving into my hunting area. So it works perfect for me. I'm not going 10 miles every single day. So the other thing what they didn't consider, because a lot of people are saying, boy, it's an expensive chair. It is. It's like almost $200. And when you had a couple of them and then they sell a table with it. I mean, if you're running a camping trailer behind your vehicle, you're limited on weight. And the more weight you can save, the better. I've seen people break their axles on their camping trailer because they weren't paying attention to how much weight that trailer can hold. And when you start taking chairs that are 3 pounds instead of 5 pounds, well, every pound you save is better, especially when it packs down. That's the other thing. A lot of those hunting chairs that they offer on Amazon I looked at didn't really pack down that much, or they put them on backpacks, and I was like, this shit's garbage. And that was the funny thing when I was looking at things. Every deer blind I looked at, Nukem was the only one that looked like the lightest. And that was the only one that looked like it was worth doing anything from what I can see. Unless I start making my own stakes and get my own camel, then I might be able to get it down to 2.5 pounds. I'm not sure. But I'm still playing around with that idea. Now, overall, with these Helinox chairs, if you're serious and you're into camping, or you're serious and you want comfort, you have to weigh out and balance it between what you're looking for. Do you want something super comfortable, and do you want it where you can get out of it easy? My other ones that I showed at the beginning of the video, they're difficult to get out of. The one that weighs 1 pound is great that it's super light, but you almost have to roll out of it to get out of the actual chair. especially when you start getting to be my age. But here's a quick look at some of these Helinox chairs, something you want to consider if you're hunting, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.